What's up everybody, welcome back to Casual Lab. I know this video is late for the update party, but I only got Jiraiya recently. Jiraiya hasn't been on the banner for a long time since its release, and I only got it very recently. Toadmaster is a new tower from this update, and he is the wildly popular Jiraiya from Naruto. You probably have seen Jiraiya somewhere even if you have not watched Naruto. Pride is just from the previous update, and he is Escanor from 7 Deadly Sins. I am gonna use their anime names in this video. Both have very high DPS and can be used as primary towers. So who's better? We will find out. But before we move on, I would really appreciate it if you can smash the subscribe button, turn on your notification bell and like this video to support the channel. If you have watched all my all-star tower defense video, you would have known that I compare units beyond their primary stats. Many people just look at the base damage and quickly conclude that a certain unit is better than the other just because it has a higher damage. If you're still doing that, I strongly suggest you take a more holistic approach and look beyond the stats, especially if you are being overly focused on damage. Other than the damage, SPA and range, there are other things like cost, type of AoE, skills, abilities, purpose of tower, ease of use, etc. Escanor is widely acknowledged as the best primary unit since its release. Can Jiraiya beat him? Let's look at everybody's favorite stats, damage. Escanor deals higher damage than Jiraiya at level 80. Even before any buff from Escanor's skill. Their SPA is very similar to each other. The range is the major difference in the stats. Not that Escanor does not have a great range, he does. Range of 55 is pretty crazy, but Jiraiya has a range of 91. That's even crazier. Honestly, if you are just looking at the base stats, I will take Jiraiya straight away. But many other factors come into play. Escanor is slightly more expensive, but I'm willing to pay that little bit more for a higher DPS and a skill where he gains attack power every way. Furthermore, Escanor is the best starter tower right now, as well as one of the best, if not the best, fully upgraded primary tower. Jiraiya is far from being a good starter. If you do not know how to compare starter towers, I will put a link in the description below. Another hot topic is the difference in the type of AoE. Escanor has a standard cone AoE. Jiraiya has the new circle AoE. If you had watched one of my previous videos on Kuma and Broly, I had explained the circle AoE. I will link it in the description below, but generally, this is my ranking in the attack types. Any types of AoE is definitely better than single target. If the tower is a single target tower, they better have stats like Gilgamesh or better. For AoEs, full AoE is the best, but don't jump to conclusions. Full AoE is useless if the SPA is too high and the range is unreasonably short. For example, I can accept Vastolord Ichigo's short full AoE range, but I can't really accept Armin's short full AoE range. Cost is one factor, SPA is another. Ultra high damage with full AoE is not very useful if it can't hit anything. If we strip out the base stats, full AoE is supposed to be the best. It covers everything within your range. White cone comes next, then normal cone. I would rank narrow cone and circle cone the same, and thereafter the white cone and normal cone. Why is this so? Both circle cone and narrow cone require you to place your unit very precisely to maximize the coverage. But if you're going to force me to rank one higher than the other, I would rank narrow cone above circle AoE. It is easier to place down a narrow cone tower appropriately than a circle AoE tower. So why is circle AoE ranked so low in my opinion? It requires you to put the units on the right spot, involves some estimation, and you cannot actually control where it is going to hit. I would say that it is for more advanced players who have lots of experience in placing down units appropriately. As far as normal cone and circle cone is concerned, a circle cone is not going to be much of a use on a straight line path. the wideness and radius of the circle at the sides are not going to be very useful. It is just a line cutting across the circle, and you can't control where it hits. If you don't believe me, try switching between attack first, last, strongest, and weakest. You will realize it is very hard to aim at a specific spot. Cone, on the other hand, is very easy to use. You place down a unit wherever you want it to hit. The range is what it is, a straight line that covers everything in front of it. But for a circle AoE, the actual range that deals damage may be greatly discounted. Yeah, sure, Jiraiya has a range of 91, but look at his actual damage dealing range. It has a range of probably 20 to 30. Even though Kuma has a range of only 72, the actual circle that deals damage is much larger. So the circle is not fixed for all tower, and neither is it scaled to the face value range stats. Circle AoE always inflates its face value range stats. The actual circle is always lower than the face value range stats. This is very bad because the actual damaging range is hidden. I think the developers should be releasing the information on the actual damaging range for the circle AoE tower as well. Escanor has a range of 55, and the cone stretches fully as the range intended at 55. You choose where you want the attack to be by specifically placing down the towers at the right positions. The key is that cone AoE is easier to control and generally much easier to use. There is no discount of range for cone AoE, but circle AoE can be useful in corners if you know what you are doing. For infinite mode, Escanor is definitely going to perform better, especially when he gains attack power every wave. But do include Jiraiya too if you have it. He is really good and come very close to Escanor too. If you are in story mode, trials or raids, where waves typically end at 15, the gap between Jiraiya and Escanor narrows down even further. The effects on Escanor's skills becomes much less significant. You can either choose Jiraiya for a slightly lower cost with a slightly lower DPS, or Escanor with a slightly higher cost but with a slightly higher DPS. Personally, I will still use Escanor if you force me to choose one of them in story mode. That is because Escanor is very versatile and is an extremely good starter tower. His cone AoE makes things very easy, and he is going to be in my team for quite a while because of that. Bottom line, Escanor is extremely easy to use and is definitely better in every way except for the face value range stats. The actual damaging range is really low. However, Jiraiya does not fall too far behind. It is very close to Escanor. Will I recommend Jiraiya? Yes, definitely. Get him when you see him. He can serve as a second powerhouse on your team right now. So that's it for today's video. Will you be getting Jiraiya? Let me know in the comments below. Please leave a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next video. Remember to turn on the notification bell too. Bye!